So today we will be talking how Ventev is solving the deployment challenges, right? So again, let me introduce myself, what I do at Ventev, and and we dive into slides. So again, Suketu Shah, product line manager, manages enclosures and power systems line, and our goal at Ventev with respect to this portfolio, enclosures and power system, is to solve deployment challenges, right? So allow me to dive in. So I think the flow, before I go into slides, I just would like to, understate the flow of this day today. We'll go into power systems challenges or power related challenges in wireless deployment, and then Chris gonna come in, and then he's gonna talk into Venvolt that we all are very excited for, right? So what I'm showing you here is pretty apparent, and many of you are well aware of it, right? Power is not something that everybody's top list when the entire project scope is laid out, right? So there are, and we have heard over and over from customer those power related challenges. There are critical networks. Those are should remain up and operable, and from utility to CCTV or access control kind of networks. Those we all aware of that should remain up at any given time, and any time that those networks are down, business suffers. I think all us suffers that we have seen more and more often, right? But then one thing, if over the past couple of years, I think a lot of businesses, our dependence on the network grew over and over, right? As we go more to our digitizations, I think we want those businesses be operable also, and that's why those are also part of critical network that we want to stay operational for the business continuity. There are also certain, as we expand the networks, we now going out to those big parking lots and try to tap onto those light poles, but those light poles are not on 24/7 grid. They only get power during nighttime, and they are photocell operable. So as soon as the sun rises, the electricity cut off, they're off grid. But again, if you are looking into deploying your network connectivity or your camera or your sensors, whatever you are doing, you are vying for that power. How are you going to get that power during daytime that you do not have? Remote locations, right? So there are again, if you think of national parks or even gas line pipeline companies, and there are a whole kind of we have so many remote and areas, and we also talk about rural digital divide and those kind of scenarios, right? But again, if you think of those kind of areas, there are no AC powers available. Trenching AC or even running the overhead lines, those are very, very expensive, time consuming. It takes tremendous toll on your project, right? So again, and then there are technologies out there that can solve. So we also look into, and we have a very successful and well-versed portfolio of the renewable energy with solar systems. So that I'm gonna talk to that over one slide, and then cross environment wireless, right? As like I said, the data and demand is ongoing. I think our appetite is constantly growing. We want to bring those networks out, whether it's a campus who is trying to build their Wi-Fi, or whatever the connectivity they are needing. They have to come out from indoor to outdoor, and when you do that, you struggle with power thing. So I'm going to speak to some solutions and how we solve those kind of challenges. There are other key drivers. Those are external drivers, I could call it, right? I mean, we have seen it every day, right? There are legislative challenges that California SB 431, because of the wildfires. I mean, the bootleg wildfire currently going on in Oregon, I think it's a it's a unfortunate example of it, right? I mean, we need those backup. I mean, those wildfires. And again, I think the way our world is changing tremendously. I think we are seeing extremely high temperature, that is driving those wildfires, or a rise in hurricanes and uptick in tornadoes and all kind of things, right? So there are all so much legislative bodies and the state and local government are doing to be able to cope up with those kind of uncertainties, right? That's where the power systems and that's where Ventev basically come in play to help solve those kind of challenges. Again, I mean, I'm not going to speak to everything, but again, extreme weather that cost $1 billion to US, and I think it's going to cost more. With this year especially is very going to see a lot of hurricanes and wildfires. Our infrastructure itself is very deteriorating, right? I mean, we all know that we have roughly about $500,000 of high voltage lines, and then all those feeder lines. Again, I mean, those are not those are oversubscribed. I think there are one data point where we as a developed nation, United States, has an average electricity downtime of 2 hours, and it's only growing. So there is much more to do, and I think this White House is going to do a lot with those very ambitious infrastructure packages that they're putting out there. But again, I think and again there are much out there, those kind of challenges out there where Ventev is going to play a tremendous role helping our customers mitigating those kind of challenges. And again, safety and security, not only for your network, but also your personal securities also on stake. So with that, I really would like to dive into giving you a overall picture of what the Ventev Power Systems and Enclosure portfolio contains. And again, I'm not going to spend too much time. This is very overarching picture of what our portfolio looks like. We have a standard portfolio, right? Within standard portfolio, we have a very straightforward AC/DC solutions. We have UPS solution. And there are various kinds of UPS solutions that we can, build from, different battery size to different enclosure size to different mounting when it comes to solar solutions that I touch upon. And then most importantly, turnkey solutions. Over the past 1.5 years, our partnership with Cisco has it had a lot of traction with the turnkey solutions with fully integrated plug and play ready. Think of if you get the complete turnkey system ready to go, deploy in the environment, I think that is going to speak a lot as you are taking out all those challenges that those installation crew faces, and that's what this solution is focused toward. With custom engineering, I think there are a lot of projects. We heavily work with utility, oil and gas, and many different verticals where we also their requirements are very specific. You do not have your standard solution that fits the bill here. So that's where we basically come in and take their custom requirement. Our engineering team, our PLM team works together. We pull in the right set of minds together to understand what those requirements are, what those challenges are, what customer trying to solve, and then give them this customized solution, right? And it could be in any kind of environment. We have experience solving those challenges from utility and oil and gas to really harsh environment where you need explosion-proof enclosures. So we have a very wide breadth of experience when it comes to designing those custom solutions. And very lastly, I think integration services that we do it in silo. We have not marketed much, but that's something we would like to. I would like to take this opportunity to put it out there, right? So integration services is really key important. Like I spoke to the turnkey solution. And the reason we can do turnkey is because we have access to those Cisco industrial switching routing portfolio, Rajan. But for integration services, a lot of our customers either buying through the VAR channels, or they may have the equipment that they're buying from somewhere else, but they just would like to utilize Ventev's strength and skill in building that system, right? So it's a custom build per their need. All they'll be doing is they will be consigning at no cost to us, and we'll be building the complete turnkey unit for them to deploy on site.
Hey, Suketu.
Yes.
Just to make sure I understand, your turnkey solutions, where it says fully integrated with everything in it, what you're saying is I can actually buy a SKU from Ventev that includes for example, a Cisco switch already in the unit. I don't have to like take it apart and like mount a bunch of stuff or screw a bunch of stuff into it. It comes already done with the switch and everything already fully installed.
Exactly right, Sam. I mean, we can configure, and I have a slide for this. So you are 100% right. So we, with the Cisco design in partnership, we at Ventev can fully integrate any industrial switch, Cisco IR, industrial routers with antenna, all pre-wired, all pre-installed. All customer will be doing is pulling the AC side power in, and then they have access to those IP67 rated Ethernet ports. And then they go from there. So it is really cutting down, substantial amount of hours and thus cost to the deployment.
Awesome. Thanks for the clarification.
All right. So the very first that I would like to highlight is our AC/DC straightforward solution. I think this cannot be can't be simple as this. This is fairly simple. Takes in AC. You have a set of AC terminal blocks, as you can see on the bottom down row. It basically AC knife switch is basically the pointer is incorrect. It's showing the screw, but it really, I think the far left, if you see that blue terminal block, that's really AC knife switch. So ideally, when you bring that box in and when you are plugging all those devices, you just basically keep it on off position. That way you are not having an active circuit. So or during the maintenance time, again, we can and then there is a DC block that you typically tap into for powering your PoE PoE injector or radio or sensor or gateway, whatever it could be that you would like to power via that DC, right? You can also always tap into AC bus if you want to. There are good space. Again, what I'm showing is a small box, but we have from 1210.6 to 262712 size enclosure. These are all NEMA rated, available in both polycarbonate and powder coated aluminum. Again, like I said, we designed for very wide range of AC power, 90 to 264. I understand in some instances you guys have high power, 480, 477 or higher than. If that's the case, just reach us out. I think we also have solutions, and I think I'm going to show you. I think there is a nice snippet that I can show you later in the slide how we solve that challenge. But we have the a breadth of AC, and then as an output, it's a standard 12 volt, 24, 48 volt DC. We have in two different power budget unit. We have power supply in 60 watts and 120 watts. These are basically standard. Again, I'm not even talking to custom solutions, which can be whatever device for your need. We use partial state of the chart PSOC SLA batteries. Typically gives you good 3 to 5 years lifespan, has an excellent temperature range from 25 C to 50 C, and has all the standard system protections from battery low voltage cutoff LVD to DC input fuse, which is basically you just happen to cross connect those battery, or there is a over voltage protection, there is a over load protections and short circuit protection. So there are all different kinds of system protections that we factor in to keep the safety in mind. Again, these are very straightforward DC where there are a lot of radios out there. Those are DC power, or there are a lot of PO injectors that requiring standard, DC. You just simply take those in. We also have solution with PO injector, but these are the kind of solutions that gives you a very quick plug and play kind of enclosure. It has a moist vent that basically helps cool the radio or the device that you are putting in. Okay. So this box is what we call it is a power extender, still a UPS, and I think this has gotten a lot of popularity as I spoke to earlier about intermittently powered pole, right? So we have done a number of projects over at least 3 years since I've been in this role, where this product has been a like wow kind of product where this has really high efficiency, low depth of discharge battery. And this is really targeted for those intermittently powered pole, can charge into 5 hours, this battery, and can for 5 to 6 hours, and can give you up to 17 to 18 hours of power from the battery when you do not have those grid power available. It is one of the popular product to be getting deployed on a lot of stadium parking lots, campus parking lots, as they are going in, building the either they are doing the Wi-Fi connectivity or wireless connectivity, or they are putting cameras for the security purposes, or maybe some kind of very cool use cases that Ventev has done, where one of the mall actually are putting these on the parking. And if you have downloaded that, if you're connected to that mall's Wi-Fi, and as soon as you pull into that mall's parking lot, they push you those messages, say, hey, XYZ company has these discounts or these deals, and things like that, right? So again, I think I'll speak to those kind of use cases. But again, our job or our goal with Ventev Power System is to give our customer, those power protection and backup that they need to be able to make those use cases possible. And just to point out, I think we also have this particular box in 2 different voltages. We realize that a lot of light poles are high voltage. They can go up to 580. So for those kind of scenarios, we have a unit or the system designed for those high voltage kind of scenarios. Okay.
I had a quick question, Suketu. I'm guessing it's a no-brainer, but can you guys automatically detect when you're not getting any power from the grid anymore and you have to switch to batteries? So let's say if I have an AP connected to that, I don't lose the...
So let me walk you through how it's connected, right? So your side power AC comes in, and where you see far left, which is a power supply with battery charger, right? So while the AC power is on during nighttime, during the nighttime, even the mall's empty or the campus empty, you still want those camera to be operable, right? For the security purpose. So during nighttime, you are shifting to AC power. So it basically split that AC power, converts into DC. It basically continue charging battery at the full amp, while your cameras and devices running off of AC. And as soon as the photocells senses the sunlight and the power goes off, it's off grid, it seamlessly transitions to the battery power. So it's a very seamless. By the way, this is a smart charger, we call it, and it automates and seamless transition as soon as AC outages detects. Solar solutions, right? I mean, again, I think this is just the representation of what we do here. Again, I'm not going through those pointers. I'm assuming a lot of you guys are knowing this. But again, our solar system, when it comes to standard, what we have done, I think, solar is very, critical. I mean, it could vary because we have solar radiations in different geographic region, different, right? I mean, NREL publishes those solar maps, right? And you probably have seen those, maps with those zones A, B, C, D, and E kind of thing. Again, but what we have done and what made us successful, or our customer basically got quite happy with, is to be able to give them a one system that can be deployable in zone A to D. Now, zone A is where you get the highest solar radiations, areas like Phoenix, Texas, and zone D is up as you go north, right? And as you go north, you do not have the solar radiations. What that means is you basically need larger system, right? If you're comparing at the same load. So we were able to devise a standard system. We designed it for zone D, worst case scenario, at a very attractive price point that could suffice, their need for deploying regardless wherever they are deploying. And that basically kept us out from designing those customized solutions for every single sites. This particular, we had a great success with this. What I'm showing you on the right is our standard Wi-Fi solar system. It gives you, it's a standard 12-volt DC base, gives from 5 days of autonomy in zone A to D. Has a minus 30 to 55 C range that pretty much covers those hot to cold areas. This particular box is 27 by 18 by 15-inch deep, and we had a great success. I think earlier this year, and with one of the major Wi-Fi community project in Oklahoma. I think a lot of you guys in California Pacific time, we had a great success, huge project that we deployed with this solution over to one of the largest polytechnic university in California. I'm sure you guys got the name, but this system has all those system protections that you need, or one would require. Gives you up to 3 amps of load. What you see, this basically comes with PO injector, but then you can also tap into those DC terminal blocks to tap into those 12-volt bus to power any standard devices. Those are DC power. Again, let me ask you any questions on this. Again, these are those remote areas. We have seen a lot of, I think the one project that I'm working with is one of the largest pipeline companies. Those are pipeline operators, and what they are trying to do is and as their pipeline goes through those rural areas, they would like to deploy leak detector sensors. But the problem is, they do not have power, and that's where the solars comes into play, where it basically provide necessary power to detect those leak detections and backhaul to the cloud. So that's
I have a question for you.
So yeah.
I was just wondering if you are still on NiCad chemistry for your batteries, if you moved on to lithium or lithium iron phosphate. What's the chemistry you're using in these batteries?
Great question, right? So currently we use lead acid, right? We have started now. Lithium ion economics has started, playing some, I think it started it's more attractive nowadays because of, the plethora of these electrical cars and manufacturing capacity in the world has grown, right? So lithium ion is what we are focusing to. That's on our roadmap. That's something you would see in near future. Right now, all our enclosures are lead acid. So if that answers your question. But again, what we do, just to point out, right? We do not use any off-the-cell kind of lead acid. Even within lead acid, there are a lot of innovations that they have come a long way, right? So what we do is we use seal lead acid batteries. Those are partial state of charge. Partial state of charge does not require you to, fully charge. It can basically continue charging while you are at partial stage, and that basically gives the required power when you need it in the case of AC absence.
Another quick question. So for something like this, as displayed, this is a single SKU. This is something that you have to build.
This is a single SKU. This is complete turnkey solutions, right? So this will include the box that you see with the mount to attach to the pole. It basically includes the PV panels and the PV panel mounts, the articulation based on what geography we recommend, what angle you need to keep those. And then it also includes the home run cable and other required conduit to connect those PV. So this is a complete turnkey. Only thing that is not included is the pole, right? Again, sometimes you can basically want to mount to the existing poles. We can also, again, we are part of Tesco. So Tesco has a line of pole manufacturers that they support. We can engage them. If you get in touch with the sales, they can get in touch with the right folks to have the right pole selected. So this is the turnkey solution, and the picture on left is what exactly Sam earlier spoke to. I think this, let me call it, and again, let me call it configurable, right? Turnkey solution is there, but I would rather add a word called configurable turnkey solution, right? So what I'm showing you here is IE32 and IR1100. But again, we have done a number of projects in past 4 months where they want to do IE33K. We did that. They wanted, they did not want IR1101. We did that. So we can easily configure for your need. If you want, AC surge suppressor, we can have that inside. Again, I think point is we can able to configure based on what you need comfortable or what you feel deemed necessary for your project need. Rajant, we also have this partnership in place through which we can, have this complete turnkey solution. We have 2 solutions as of now with them, one with harsh environment, this particular one with Rajant KM3 breadcrumb in both AC and DC power scenarios, as well as we have hazardous box that we also design, as Rajant has a big footprint into oil and gas. So again, these are 2, but again, I think there are much more we can do with respect to different radios. We have experience working with all kind of radios, and I don't want to name, but most majority names, OEMs that you can think of that we have done enclosures for. Again, just to highlight the custom solutions, I think one of our key win is to be able to develop this, ESC in CBRS, environmental sensing capability, this sensor, which has to be there to be able to, when you are deploying CBRS, I know you guys know the CBRS, but this ESC sensor basically keep track of all the incumbent. And if they sense is incumbent, they basically tell back to those spectrum access systems. So this is exactly the box that we designed, pretty much deployed in East Coast, West Coast, and Gulf with our box. What you see right there, just behind that wall is our box that we designed. And that box, how it looks from the inside. And again, this is custom solution, just to give you guys the glimpse into the kind of a box that we could do for different use cases.
Sorry, for the temperature, for the working temperature range, does it come with an option of a heating element or a cooling element to extend the temperature range in cases or areas with higher than 45 centigrade?
Fantastic question, right? So when we design custom, we work with customers. We understand what devices, what are the heat sources inside, what kind of environment you are putting this enclosure in, solar loading. And we take into all account and come up with a design. So if we need to add the fan or vent, sometime we have seen, there is no need for fan or extra cooling, and vent could be more than enough. We do that, right? So we take in those factors as part of those design requirement gathering. This is basically a very close, and that's what I think one of the key things that I would like to highlight, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can speak to who have worked with Ventev, is our engineering team is pretty close to our customers, right? It basically begins at very early stage. As you give us a call and we bring our right team into place in making sure that we meet not only the temperature thermal requirement, but then there are certain regulatory requirements that we have to. If your project requires UL certifications, we can work with you to get through those certifications, right? Or for this particular enclosure, it is next to the coastline. Coastline is more corrosive environment. So what we did with this standard box has a stainless 304 stainless, which is more prone to corrosion. We change it to fiberglass. So we made note to those even tiny things and making sure that our customer deployment goes seamless and as much maintenance free over the coming year as possible. Right. Here is again, like I said, I will be repeating myself that we have a huge, we have been working with utility for over, I don't know how many years, but we pretty much work with tons of different utility from, one of those largest publicly owned or privately owned to cooperative, small, again, and this one is one of the largest in Southeast region, where they're wanting undergrade, below grade kind of solution in a manhole. They're wanting to put a custom enclosure to expand their network distribution, the RTU and SCADA network, right? In that scenario, what we did is this IP68 rated box, which is completely sealed and can sustain underwater for some time, for some hours. And one of the challenge with this box, customer would like to keep one size, and he wanted to make sure that, hey, I have different sites. I have, standard, 240 volts, but then there are some sites which are high voltage. Those are 477. Can you guys solve this? And, if you follow the bottom right corner, there is this transformer add-on plug-in plate. So what all we did is have them use the same enclosure, but for those high voltage scenarios, this add-on plate transformer can, this is all pre-wired, by the way, from Ventev factory. They can simply buy that SKU, and that gives them, peace of mind deploying the same enclosure with same features inside, and that's how, those are kind of, intimate we get to with our customer in solving those kind of, their challenges. All right, so Ventev integration services, right? I think, so this is very straightforward 3-step process. No rocket science, very straightforward. Sometime you select our standard system, or you have your custom need that we can design the solution for. You have your own equipment. You might be having your own proprietary equipment, or you have your own inventory that you would like to use. You just simply consign those to us, as opposed to buying this box, having your integration team building on site and going into all kind of challenges and everything. We said, okay, what if you just consign us, okay? And that's free of cost, that no cost to customer. We put them in, again, this consignment step, and between step 2 and 3, there is a lot of engineering, engineering liaison takes place, where we work very closely with customer in understanding, what are we, consigning what are those pre and post test procedures, and so forth, so on, right? And give them the complete solution. Again, just to highlight, so these are very straightforward that we soon want to go market. And we currently do that for a lot of our other customers, but that's not something pretty, apparent if you go to our website. Just to highlight, Ventev, I mean, keep talking about Ventev capacity, but we have over 100 plus years of overall, aggregate experience amongst our engineering team. So we are really smart head. We have manufacturing facility in both Reno and Timonium. Again, all systems, every system that we build go through 100% inspection. There are standard setup inspection protocol that we perform to any when it comes to building the custom systems. We also work with customer to understand what kind of taste they would like to perform, and we do that, right? And most importantly, I think, you do not have the Ventev keeps the inventory. We work with you guys to make sure that, you have your solution when you guys need it. You think of, over the last 3 months, I think it seems the commodity challenges, and we all heard of, radio chip outages and everything. I think we, were quite lucky to have the very strong supply chain to be able to keep the customer's project on time without getting those hiccups. So again, those are the things that you do not have to worry about with Ventev, with us keeping your project on time.